Welcome back to the show where it's not about Mark Hughes, Sir Alex or Arsene Wenger. Here it's you, the manager, with a cast of the best players in the Premier League at your disposal. While the prize for Wenger, Rafa and Fergie is the Premier League trophy, the bounty on offer for you is the £150,000 prize pot and the £250 for the winner of the Football Spy Mini League. Now, I wasn't happy after the first day of the new season, after Gerrard and Torres, but Gerrard and Torres have put a smile back on my face with a magnificent effort on Wednesday night against Stoke. Here's my team. Adebayor did the business big star for me last Saturday, and I'm sure he's going to grab even more goals this weekend in City's first home game of the season. But I could have kicked myself for picking the Blackburn lone striker Franco De Santos, clearly not going to play that often. And also Everton's Joleon Lescott at the back, as his head is all over the place. Gerrard turned it round for me with a great couple of assists against Stoke on Wednesday, and Torres weighed in with a goal to make my score look much more respectable. But De Santo and Lescott, they're weighing me down like an anchor. Anyway, to kick off our first talking point on the online version of our You the Manager show, let me know which players you wish you didn't pick from the first week. Fantasy Day is proving a nightmare for me because I went begging to him just to give me a chance to change some players, and he's point blank refusing. To be fair, the reason is that it allows the competition to be fair to people who have registered through the papers rather than online. You can change your players from the end of this month though, and trust me, a few of mine will be shown the door. Dave, De Santo out, Lescott out, Quayle and Milner from Aston Villa out. Would I be making the right decision?
Hi Darren. I agree that De Santo is a dud, and it looks like you should probably ship him out. But I think you should keep hold of Lescott and the two Villa players, because Joleon Lescott, when he moves, if it moves, it will shine at City, and Villa will come good in the end.
Fair enough, I hear you. Now, every week, as I mentioned last week, we're going to show you two leaderboards. The first is this one, the main You the Manager leaderboard. And as you can see, if your name is James Turner and you live in Goole, then you must be feeling like Arsenal at the moment, because it is just 1 week, but the Goole All-Stars are top with 133 points. Second is Terry Gridley with 131, and third is Rodri Galligan from Derry on 130 points. As for the Football Spy Mini League, the one I know you're all waiting for, Daniel Fort is top. He's from Bristol. His team, originally titled Dan Fort 006, has 118 points. Second is Martin Bennett from Leicester with 115, and third is Michael Westcombe. His Red Robins have so far picked up 112 points. Just a thought, but if you want to send us your pictures as well, then when we name you, we'll flash them up at the same time. The email address is on the screen. And I know some of you must be thinking there's a glitch because you can't see my name. Well, I'll leave it to Fantasy Dave to tell you how I'm doing.
Well, Darren, with a score of 54 points, you're not exactly troubling the leaderboards at the moment. But, some good results this week, and you could push up a few thousand places.
Anyway, enough of that. Time for your messages, and lots of them this week, most of them asking for advice from Fantasy Day. But I want to start with this one from Rachel Alice Sears on YouTube. She says simply, I love Fantasy Dave. Are you married, Dave?
Yes, Darren, I am married to statistics and leaderboards.
Joe Fizzy Hamish wants to know what we think of his team. He's got Schwarzer from Fulham in goal, Hangeland, Lescott and Turner at the back, Lampard, Ashley Young, Neville, Ireland and Fabregas in the midfield, and Neveland and Tevez up front. Dave?
It's a nice team, but it's the wrong formation for YTM. We play with a 4-3-2 formation, so you better go back to the drawing board, Joe, and come back to us next week with a new team.
Karan Aurora's got Bent, Torres and Drogba up front. Very impressive. He thinks that Bent's going to have a prolific season at Sunderland. I think you're right.
Got another one here, Darren. Emerald City wants to know what we think of his team. Almunia in goal, Alex, Lescott, Ivanovic and Hangeland at the back, Arshavin, Benayoun, Ireland in midfield, and Owen, Cowton and Elker up front. I like the balance of the team, but I do think you're running a risk when you're not playing either Lampard or Gerrard, because they are both points machines, as they've already proven this season.
And just one more, Serge, Old Root, Mohammed and X-Wing Class were among a number of you who wanted to know if we could set up a league for people who can't play the game for logistical reasons. Sadly, we're not able to, but we still value your comments and your contributions. Now, just a quick time for a quick look at the fixtures this week. And on Saturday, I'm feeling very, very sorry for Portsmouth, who travelled to a rampant Arsenal for what can only be a crushing defeat. I wish I had more Arsenal players in my team. Birmingham against Stoke looks tight, so too does Hull against Bolton. Man City should fill their boots against Wolves, and I like the look of Sunderland with Bent and Kenwyne Jones both scoring goals. The partnership for Canal and Catamol in midfield is also very tasty. They should sort Blackburn out. Manchester United got to bounce back against Wigan. That won't be easy. And then you've got 2 games on Sunday. Burnley should beat Everton. They're on a real high. And a few hours later, Chelsea, so impressive in coming from behind against Sunderland on Tuesday night. They travel to Fulham, who are proving to be one of the toughest places to go in the Premier League these days. Now, we're still sifting through some names for my fantasy team, and I've got to admit there have been some really good entries. I love Live and Let Spies from Ben Perkins, who's working out in Hong Kong. He watches us online. Dave?
I've got one here, Darren, from Murray from Winnipeg in Canada, who thinks that Darren's Daring Doers is a winner. Thoughts on that one?
Not sure about that. Martin Denev thinks Darren Devil Crashes.
And Bad Howled thinks Darren the Man in the Mirror. Very topical, but I think you can do better than that.
Now, we're getting together a prize for the best one. We'll pick a winner on the final day of the transfer window. But before we go, just a quick throw to Dave, who's going to tell you about another great competition on You the Manager.
Thanks, Darren. As you may or may not know, we at the Mirror have a brand new weekly fantasy game called Fantasy Stakes, and you can play alongside our season-long game at the same time. In it, you can pick a shiny new team every week and decide the size of the stake you want to play with, and you decide how many people you want to play against. It really is a simple game and easy to pick up but difficult to master. I've had a few goes in it and won a few quid, only pennies, but there are £500 and £750 guaranteed mini leagues to be won every week. So if you're in the need of new weekly fantasy football and you need that football fix, look no further than www.mirrorfantasystakes.co.uk. Back to you, Darren.
So that's it for our second You the Manager show. Don't forget you can find us every Thursday right here, and remember to tune into Football Spy every weekday to keep up to date with the transfer gossip. From Dave and me, we'll see you next time.